Are you new to the styling industry and are afraid to put yourself out there? Well, trust me, I've been there before, so I completely understand. I remember when I was in the beginning stages of my styling career, and honestly, I was afraid to reach out to people. I didn't feel like I was experienced. I didn't feel like I had enough work under my belt, and I just felt like people were gonna look at me as if I was new. I mean, I was, but I still knew what I was doing and I was excited to get my feet wet, but it was scary. And at times I felt myself sitting around and waiting for people to reach out to me, feeling like I was missing out on opportunities. But in today's video, I want to give you some tidbits on how you can start putting yourself out there and not sit around waiting for the clients to reach out to you. So I'm excited to hop into today's video and just answer this question that I received from a stylist. Hey stylist, it's your style biz coach Kristen, and I'm excited to be back with another video. If you're new here, welcome, and if you are returning, welcome back. I've been doing this Ask the Style Biz Coach segment for quite some time, and I've been enjoying it because I've been able to answer some of y'all's questions. And I have a really good question that I'm going to answer today, and it's all about being in the beginning stages of your styling career and what to do about attracting the right clients and actually taking initiative. I get it. I mean, when you feel like you're not fully where you want to be, sometimes that doubt creeps in and it makes you feel like you're not confident enough or you're not ready for certain experiences. But that is all a part of the process, and that is all a part of the journey. You won't always be ready. You just have to trust yourself, trust the process, and honestly trust God as to where He has you. So real quick, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kristen Johnson. I'm the CEO and founder of Project Style University, where I help first generation personal stylists transform their love for styling into a profitable business. And I do that through coaching, mentorship, and educational videos like this one. I really wish I had someone like this when I was building my business, so I'm happy to be that person for you all. So I'm so excited to just hop into the question for today because I don't want to waste any more time. So this is a long one. This question is actually going to pop up on the screen so y'all can read along with me. But this is from one of my followers, one of my subscribers who always shows up on my videos. So hey girl. So she says, "You did so good. I mentioned a while back my main platform will be LinkedIn. I have a question as a new solopreneur. Basically, although I'm being consistent as I can on the platform with style content, I've been leaning towards establishing rapport and personally messaging people. Of course, not in a pressure type of way. My goal is to first get to my first 100 people. I said I wanted to ask very few questions to women if they feel up to engaging. How has it been for you when you were in the beginning stages? Did you just wait for people to come to you and or took initiative?" Well, girl, it's so much that was such a loaded question, one, which is a great thing. But two, is so much that goes into the beginning stages of being a stylist. As I mentioned earlier in this video multiple times, it can be scary doing something new for the first time and not really knowing what you're doing, to be honest with you. And when you don't feel confident in what you're doing, how can you reach out to other people and say, hey, like, let me style you? Although I've never done that before, and or this would be my first time even reaching out to someone, you know? And sometimes you don't know what to say. So in today's video, I really want to walk through what that can look like for you and just give you some tips on how you can begin to take initiative and really position yourself as an expert, regardless of how many years you've been in the industry. So before we get started, I just want to make sure that you know that it's important for you to not sit around and wait for people to reach out to you. Honestly, if you do that, you'll be waiting forever. So I really want to encourage you to not only do your part by sharing content on social media, showing up consistently, all the things, but make sure that you are also putting yourself out there, reaching out to people who seem to be interested and seem to want to work with you. Honestly, you can reach out to people who don't necessarily even know who you are. 9 times out of 10, a lot of people won't know who you are, especially if you're new in the industry. But even if you're more seasoned, I've been in the industry for 10 plus years, and it's a lot of people who still don't know that I exist. The world is huge and there's so many people to reach, but I want you to know that everybody isn't going to be your client. You're not going to be able to reach every single person, and not everybody is going to be in a space to want to work with you. So you're going to get some no's, but all of those no's will eventually lead to a yes, and more yeses will start to come. So just be patient, really have faith, and continue trusting the process, because that's what this journey is all about. So let's break down a little bit of how to actually start getting clients and what to do in order to take initiative. So the easiest thing that you can start by doing is posting content. Posting and sharing content. It can be educational content. It can be engaging content. It can be fun content. Whether you're showing people how you're getting dressed every day, whether you're providing style tips, whether you are just showing up and talking to people about how they can elevate their style, you have to show up on social media. Now, when it comes to the platform you're showing up on, that's up to you to choose. I don't expect you to be on every single platform that exists. Trust me, I tried it and it's unnecessary. It's really important for you to show up on the platforms where you feel the need to show up, and also where you feel like your ideal audience is. Now, I get that in the beginning stages, you may not necessarily know who your target audience is, but you should have an idea. For example, I've always knew that I wanted to style women. Women were always the gender that I wanted to focus on. I wasn't really interested in styling men. Sometimes I would get men to reach out to me, but 9 times out of 10, my content, my brand, and who I was attracting other women. So I knew that I wanted to work with women. So that's step 1. Figure out what type of client you want to work with. Of course, your target audience is going to evolve over time. And of course, the longer you're styling, the more experience you get, the more people you meet, the more people you come in contact with, you'll be able to narrow down and really niche down who your target audience is. So obviously I started off with women, and then I transitioned into professional women, executive women, entrepreneurial women. And then it got to the point where I realized I wanted to work with women who lacked confidence, women who didn't love their bodies, women who hated showing up for themselves or were afraid to show up for themselves. You'll slowly begin to peel back the layers of who that target audience is as you continue to take steps forward. I know it won't always make sense in the beginning, but again, it's a journey, so trust yourself. With me knowing more and more about my target audience, I began to shift the social platforms that I was showing up on. Initially, I was on Instagram, I was on TikTok, I was also on YouTube, LinkedIn, all the things, even Facebook. But now I've narrowed down my platforms to just be primarily LinkedIn, because that's where my target audience is. Of course, Instagram, so that I can have a presence there. And then obviously YouTube. Now, I know those are 3 platforms, and I feel like having 2 is ideal, but make it easy for yourself. Don't feel like you have to create different types of content for each of these platforms. It's really all about recycling what you have and just making it work for the platform that you're on. So eventually I may end up not using Instagram, but I think it's important to have an Instagram, especially in this day and age. Now, LinkedIn is my favorite because ideally my target audience is there. But interestingly enough, the fashion industry and fashion creatives, a lot of y'all sleep on LinkedIn. A lot of y'all feel like LinkedIn is only for business or only for professionals, which in a sense it is, but that doesn't mean that it's not for stylists. That doesn't mean that it's not for fashion creatives. And I will say, because there aren't a ton of us on there, when you are showing up consistently on there, people are going to see you as an expert. People are going to see you as a professional, and that's who we are. So I'm not saying get on LinkedIn, but I am saying find the platform that works for you, but also the platform that will position you as the expert that you are, in hopes of reaching the right types of people that are your target audience. So aside from just posting on social media and showing up consistently, what exactly are you saying in your captions? It's important to invite people to reach out to you. Invite people to schedule calls with you. Invite people to go to your website. Invite people to download a freebie if that's what you have. So you have to also be intentional about what type of content you're putting out, and also what you're asking people to do. A lot of us are just posting fashion content trying to figure out why people aren't engaging with us. but we aren't even simply telling them to leave their thoughts below or to comment below. We're just giving them a cute outfit. So it's important that you get people engaged and you ask them and invite them to engage with you so that you can start building your rapport as a stylist. So aside from inviting people to engage with you on your content, also make sure that you're engaging with other people on their content. Honestly, I could do a lot better with this. So when you're liking other stylists' content or just other potential clients' content or just other brands' content, comment as well. Let them know your thoughts. Let them know what you're thinking. The more you engage with other people, the more other people will engage with you. Try to carve out some time every day to spend some time on social media, engaging with other platforms and engaging with other people so that eventually people will know who you are. They'll follow you back. They'll like your content too. They'll even reach out to you if they're looking for a stylist, because a lot of the times you're probably the only stylist that everybody knows. I know that's something that I can relate to. So sometimes I get the right inquiries, I get the right people who are excited to work with me. And sometimes people refer me to the wrong types of clients. And that's only because I'm the only stylist that they know. So it can be a hit or miss sometimes, but it's good to know that people are actually seeing you and people actually trust you enough to reach out to you and refer other people to you. Another way to put yourself out there as a new stylist is to start building your portfolio and make it a big deal. You know, when I started styling, I was actually working with a friend of mine who is still a close friend of mine, Tone, and she was a stylist at the time. So one of my first photo shoots that I did, I assisted her on her photo shoot. And I started to assist her on quite a few photo shoots that she was doing. But eventually she took a break and she wasn't styling as often as she was before. So I told myself, okay, well, I don't want to sit around and wait for her to do a photo shoot in order for me to assist. Let me actually start creating my own photo shoots, reaching out to my own photographers, my own models, and styling them myself. So that way I can record content behind the scenes. I can have my own photos to say that I've styled it instead of assisting it, and I can have something to showcase my work. So when people start to see your work, they'll start to see what you can do. So try to start building your portfolio so that you can start putting yourself out there a bit more consistently. Another way to start putting yourself out there as a stylist who is new to the industry is to partner with other stylists. You can also partner with other brands and partner with other industry experts. So that was something that I did a lot when I was building my business and when I was in the beginning stages of my business. And it's something that I still do till this day. Not everybody's network knows who you are, and you can introduce yourself to other people's network when you partner with them and really showcase yourself as an expert in the industry that you're in. So it's really cool to partner with other industry experts who are not in your industry. So other coaches, other consultants, lawyers, makeup artists, hairstylists, anybody who is a creative or anybody who is a professional that truly aligns with what it is that you're wanting to do in your business. So for me, I did of course partner with other stylists, but I also partnered with makeup artists, hairstylists, brand photographers, photographers in general, fashion designers, quite a few different types of people. I even partnered with financial advisors, I partnered with therapists, I partnered with personal trainers, and really just dabbled in a lot of different areas where I knew that people who essentially needed my services were, but maybe they did not know that I exist or even thought about working with a stylist. So think outside the box. Don't feel like you just have to work with people in your industry. Think about working with other people in other industries, and if their audience truly aligns with your target audience, to make it make sense. Aside from partnering with other people, you can also host events with other people too. So y'all can come together and do a live segment. Y'all can come together and do a podcast interview. Y'all can come together and do a YouTube video and or host an in-person and or virtual event, whether it be through Zoom, a workshop, a masterclass, all the things. When you are able to collaborate with other people, again, y'all are able to share you guys' networks. And that is so helpful for you because people in your network will now know who they are and people in their network will now know who you are. And it doesn't feel like you're alone because you have someone that you're working with who is in the same boat as you, trying to build their business, trying to, build up their platform. And although y'all may be at a space where y'all don't have a ton of followers or y'all don't have a huge huge network. But when y'all come together, really is a game changer for you and the other person you're partnering with. So consider hosting an event and collaborating with someone to do that. Okay, so a few more things that I want to add. I want you to consider growing your emailing list. Now, when it comes to growing your emailing list, there are a lot of things that go into it that I'm not going to dig too deep into in this particular video, but I just want to give you the idea to do something like this. Now, this really played a huge part in building my business because it allowed me to build an emailing community, or like a digital community. So when I was sending out emails and newsletters and letting people know what I was doing, letting people know what I was offering, people knew what was happening with me because I was in their emails. Not everybody is on social media. Not everybody has an Instagram. Not everybody has a LinkedIn. Not everybody has a YouTube. But for the most part, everybody has an email. So when you're able to get in someone's email and truly personalize a message and speak right to them, it really helps to nurture them. You can also have email sequences. You can also have different digital downloads that people can download when they come to your website, when they come to your social media. And in exchange for that digital resource that they're downloading, you'll get their name, you'll get their email address, you'll also get their phone number if that's something that you asked for. So really consider building your email list that way. And if you're also hosting events, virtual and in person, you can also gather people's emails that way too and add them to your emailing list as well. When it comes to your emailing list, it's quality over quantity. I know for me, I really used to get upset when I saw people unsubscribe from my emailing list. I'm not gonna lie. But in this day and age, I honestly want the people who are no longer interested in what I have to say, those people who are no longer interested in what I have to offer, I want them gone. I don't want them sitting, taking up space on my emailing list, and someone else who is interested and could be interested aren't there. So don't get upset when people unsubscribe. Don't feel like you're emailing them too much, because there's no such thing, in my opinion. Because when you subscribe to these websites for these fashion brands and these other brands that you love, how many times are they sending you an email? Multiple times a day, sometimes multiple times a week. No, I'm not suggesting that you send out an email every single day or numerous times every single day, but find your groove. Maybe 3 times a week, maybe 4 times a week. Maybe start with once a week and kind of add to it. I know that's something that I'm working on. At this point in time, my capacity is really just for once a week, but every once in a while, I'll email my audience a couple of times a week, especially if I have something coming up. And you can always schedule the email. It's not like you have to write it, in real time. You can write the email out and schedule it for another day. Also, don't forget to use AI. This is when you want to use technology. So ChatGPT is a really, really great tool that helps me to create email copy so that I'm not like stressing out trying to figure out what my email should say or how I should say something. It also helps me with my social media captions. Creating captions is the longest process sometimes. I already have the content, I already know what I want to post, but sometimes I just don't know what to say. So ChatGPT has been very helpful with that, and I would highly suggest that you use it too. One last thing that I'll say when it comes to taking initiative and really putting yourself out there as a stylist is to not be afraid to actually reach out to people. Like legit, like cold reach out to people. Or if you see someone who has engaged with your content or who has DM'd you quite a few times or has sent you an email quite a few times or is even just following you, that is a way where you can reach out to people. Say, hey, I noticed you were following me. Thanks so much for the support. Let me know if there's anything I can do. If you want to inquire about my services, you can schedule a call here. If you want to take a look at what I have to offer, feel free to take a look at my website. Don't be afraid to reach out to people, although you've never spoke with them before. But also, if you don't get any responses back, it's all right. It's really good to follow up, and it's important to make sure that you are following up in a timely manner. And take notes of who you're reaching out to. Take notes and stay organized with the people that you're reaching out to, so you're not reaching out to the same people twice, or you're forgetting to reach back out to certain people. Reaching out to people is going to be the best thing that you can do, but don't be afraid to hear some no's or to not hear anything at all. Okay, so I hope everything that I mentioned was extremely helpful to you. I know I mentioned quite a few different ideas and quite a few different tips. Do not feel like you have to execute on all of these things at one time. Pick and choose what you want to focus on and really get good at one of those things at a time. Some of these things you may not need to do, but I will say if I were you, the most important things I will focus on is really creating a platform where you are showing up consistently in the right spaces, making sure that you are building an emailing list because you are going to need that and it's truly going to make a difference in your business. And also partnerships. Do not be afraid to partner with people because you can't not do it all alone. So again, I hope this was helpful. If you have any other questions for me, do not hesitate to comment below. I would love to answer them in another video. And I think that's it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure that you stay up on everything that is happening on this platform because there's so much more to come in 2025. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.